And now it's time for Cruise In with the old Mustang man, Joseph got All-Star Plumbers. Athens, Alabama, Eddie Pruitt Ford in Hartselle, and down in Tanner, my good buddy Brad Stovall. Visit all of these fine folks as they sponsor this segment. And here he is now, the main man, Joseph Mustang Man.
Good morning, Jamie. We are excited today. What a beautiful car, Ricky. I already know what it is and a little bit about it because I've been talking to you. But tell us what year is the car you brought?
1960 Corvette, Resto Mod.
Resto Mod. There's a term I love because for the viewers that don't know what that means, you take a vintage car and you equip it with modern suspension, engine upgrades, just performance, handling. This car looks like it's ready to move.
It does.
I bet it does. You enjoy driving it, don't you?
My wife drives it.
Does she really? Now, you take this car to a lot of local car shows, don't you?
When it's not raining.
When it's not raining, yeah. Well, this car, I'll tell you, did this car have any kind of sentimental meaning to you? Was it the car that you first went on your date with your wife in or something?
It's the car that I've owned 42 years. It used to be a drag race car. It's a drag race car when I bought it, and I raced it 20 years. My wife and I put it up, stored it about 10 years, and then one day she said, "What are we going to do today?" I said, "What do you want to do?" She said, "Let's pull the Corvette out and put it on the street. Something we can drive. It don't just need to sit there in the garage."
What a great story. So you've owned it how many years?
42.
42 years. That's almost as long as I've been on this earth. I'm telling you, though, this, so does it ride and drive like a new Corvette?
It does. It has the Jim Myers Racing Products frame under it, new suspension, four-wheel disc brakes, and a late model engine, LS3, with a Whipple supercharger. And it goes on down the road.
Well, speaking of that supercharger, if you've got time, let's pop the hood and see that engine. Jamie, this car, I'll tell you, when I first met Ricky at the car show, there were so many people gathered around looking at this car, and this was one of the main things they were looking at was this chrome polished, Whipple supercharger. Now, Ricky, how many horsepower do you estimate this has, or have you had it dynoed?
Have not had an opportunity to dyno it, but it should produce 650 or 750 horsepower.
Wow, that's some serious ponies. Willwood brakes, so even the brakes have been upgraded so you can have some stopping power.
Yes, that's correct. It has a 6-speed automatic 6L80 transmission using a GM computer, been reflashed, and everything's smooth. It rides like a new Corvette.
That is awesome. Now, do you want to give a shout out? I'm assuming that a really good shop must have done most of this restoration for you. You want to give them a shout out?
Yes, I would. I'd like to thank Todd's Rods and my wife for supporting me on the effort to build this car. When we started out, we wanted to build a driver, and that was all. But as we started going, we wanted it to look good, and then we wanted it to make horsepower, and it does. It fills the bill. But
all three you accomplished. That's a home run. That's a grand slam, really. So now, Todd's Rods, where are they? In Hazel Green?
New Market.
New Market. Todd's Rods.
It does a fine job.
And I see your Good Guys member there. I think Brad's got a list of some of the car shows for this weekend, and the Good Guys are up at Nashville at Titan Stadium. Is that right?
Yes, they are.
Are you going up to that show?
No, we're not going to make it. We're registered, but the local shows, we prefer to stick close to home this weekend, and we'll catch them up later.
Well, I tell you, that's a good show. And Jamie, there's a whole list of car shows for this weekend, but if you get a chance to get out to some local shows, you're going to see Ricky and his wife Chris at showing this. So do you primarily keep the top down most of the time?
We keep the top off. It shows better with the top off.
So it's a hard top that pops on?
It is.
Okay.
When we tubbed it for the big tires, we lost our canvas top, and we just go with a hard top.
I don't blame you. Speaking of big tires, Jamie, did you see those tires in the back? Now that is some. You know, my dad used to have a saying, "Smoke those caissons."
Yeah.
I assume you know what that means.
Oh, yeah.
That means burn some rubber, right?
Correct. We have 20-inch wheels on the back and 18 on the front with Mickey Thompson tires. Tires on the back are 15 inches wide, and the ones on the front are 10-inch. And it handles real well.
I bet it does. And that's what makes it fun, Jamie, for the folks that aren't familiar with the Resto Mod, is to take an old vintage car like this that has the look of a classic American muscle car, but then performs like a brand new Corvette or a brand new Mustang. I mean, you know, we talk about all the new handling and performance characteristics of these new sports cars, but to have a classic that rides and drives like that, that's the best of both worlds, Ricky.
Oh yeah, we like for it to go, and it does that. And we cruise, we drive it to the local shows within 200 miles, and we trailer it to the long distance shows.
I don't blame you. Now, is this the original colors?
No, this is a Victory Red with a silver coat, and it's a late model Camaro pickup truck, Chevrolet pickup truck color.
Well, the red really pops. And so that little swoosh down the side there is called a cove. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
I knew that the one up the middle on some of the later 60s Corvettes is called the Stinger, but that's called the cove. See, I'm a Mustang guy, so I have to learn all these Corvette terms. Now, have you ever had this car like judged as far as the NCR, the National Corvette Registry, or anything, or is it in a different category?
No, we just got it back last fall and started showing it. We've not done that yet. We're going to Corvette Homecoming in July. We'll know more then.
And that's up in Bowling Green?
Yes.
Yeah, for all you Corvette fans, if you've never been to Bowling Green, Kentucky, where the plant is at and where the museum is at, it's a fabulous weekend. I mean, now, they have a track there where they do on track time. Is that correct?
And they do.
Yeah. You should put this car on the track. I'm telling you. Well, Jamie, hopefully the weather won't mess us up, but if you get a chance to get out this weekend, if the weather stays pretty, get out and check out some local car shows and tune in next Thursday. Wait till you see what we got next week.